ramparts, you say plans are not required, then what can be done?
पॉइंट काडिल्लो सुरवातेक तूं मातसो एक्टिविस्टांचेर पिकार बी जाल्लो जंय परत दत्तबाब पावला ती तुगेली राग येता एक्टिविस्टांचो की खंय गरज नासतना ओव्हरबोर्ड वचून बी ओपोज करता म्हणून
Practical and very factual activism is also beneficial for the economy because a lot of wrong things have been protected and which we want. As I told you, I am also Goan, we are also living here, our future generation also, we wish that they should live in Goa. So we care equally. What is my issue is, in the guise of activism, you try to blackmail, you get into corrupt practices, politicians are involved in this, they put some activists in between to get bargain. You should have rule of law. If your project is legitimately approved, there should not be any opposition. You should have a legal means. Today what happens? You wait till the project comes halfway. Natbab will agree on this. Then you come and object. What were you doing till then? You are just living 100 meters away from there. That is nonsense. People have become corrupt. Some areas. Some activists have done selflessly. I knew Matani personally. Let me also tell you, when we lost Matani, I was one of, along with Siam and me, another Utpal and Siddharth, only 4 of us were there. We have seen all this. I got to at 3 o'clock, 3:10 and 3:20 I was there. The reason is the affection which we had for him as an activist. Amazing respect we had for him. We believe there are many people in Goa who really saved Goa, you can say that way also. But the point is, there are also crooks. They become activists and they start looting and cheating, and at the end when their demands are met, then they are...
नितीन एकूच गजाल म्हाका
I will agree
सांग
with
सगळे कडेन ब्लॅक शिप्स असतातच ही तुझी एक्झाम्पल्स दितात दे आर फ्यूअर दे आर मोर
I'm clarifying to him, he said, are you against activism?
अगेन एंड अगेन यू आर सेइंग ओनली अबाउट एक्टिविस्ट ब्लॅकमेलिंग करतात हेच चड आसात काय ब्लॅकमेलर कमी आसात आणि ते कमी आहात तेच व्हड करून दाखयतात
Substantial.
हा
Substantial.
मेजॉरिटी आर
Not
ब्लॅकमेलर्स
majority, substantial.
मेजॉरिटी इज ब्लॅकमेलर
How do I count? I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's substantial. You said no, तागडी घेऊन बसपा काय म्हणून?
हय ताकडी घेवन हांगा बसपाक जाय कारण प्रत्येकाले अशें आसा की म्हाका जी इंडस्ट्री घालपाक जाय ती इंडस्ट्री घालतना हांव मातशें बारीक कितें करता तेन्ना कोण तरी ऑपोज करता तो ब्लॅकमेलर जाता दॅट इज ऑल्सो
I'll rope you in only because mining and many activists are focused on mining. You are fighting battles in court, you are fighting battles on ground. How are you looking at activists?
See, definitely, I mean, activism is not, I mean, substantially, in many places I've seen, is dishonest. If somebody fights for the right issue, definitely there's a value in it. See, in mining also, you should understand one thing, that in Goa, what had happened, the epicenter of the problem was not basically in mining, but it is off mining. It's in the transportation routes. It was much more than the carrying capacity of those transportation routes. Now, what happened in Goa over a period of time, the alternative mode of transportation had never come into the mind of anybody. It evolved that way. So, what happened when the capacity went beyond a certain level, that created a problem. But actually, issue was in transportation, not in mining. But the focus immediately gone to the mining. But I mean, coming back again to what we had raised, that while dealing with people with majority we have seen are not fighting for the right cause. They have some kind of vested interest. That
Oscar,
should not
you
happen.
agree with that?
That should not happen.
The problem here is who defines right and wrong. And the problem therefore is not just in our country, not in our society, but it is across the world and in throughout world history. It is the powerful, it is the moneyed, and it is the people with influence who tell us what is right. And I do not think for one moment that an activist is someone who has got power, who's got money, or who's got influence. It's up to you to judge whether a miner, or real estate, or a doctor has got
And the
influence.
problem occurred mainly because of the whole environmental degradation issue was because of transport and not because of mining.
Question is that the issue, see, what happened, we should understand the issue, the epicenter of the issue was not in the mining. It was something away from mining. That's what I meant to say. That when the transportation took
What
place...
did they transport?
Well,
where did
why I
that
told.
transportation ore came from?
So that's why I'm saying that there needs to be a balanced trade-off. There is no right or wrong answer.
Mr. Banerjee, will you agree with one thing at least? That this whole uncontrolled mining which we saw, because of which there was total ban on mining also, was ultimately it led to environmental degradation or not?
See, question is
Just
that
tell me
that's what I'm saying.
all.
That's what I'm saying, that if you swing the pendulum to either side, it's definitely bad. But that does not necessarily mean that there is no way out. You have to have that balanced trade-off, which a rational
I'm not talking
thinking.
about future, I'm just asking you whether it
Sandesh,
happened or not.
Sandesh,
Forget about the past.
म्हाका
Let us
दिसता
talk of the
आमी
future, whether
झगडत
there is a
रावतले.
possibility or not.
I
That is more
think
important. That is more
in the
important.
concluding part, we should be solution oriented.
Correct.
And I feel science and technology and science of management has ample solution out of box. आता तुका काय example दिता. आता आपण ह्युमन बॉडी, डेड ह्युमन बॉडी आम्ही बॅरियल करतात नाल्यार क्रिमेशन करतात. इन नॉर्वे एक शोध लागला केमिकल कंपोस्टिंग. फायर ना, बॅरियल ना, बॉडी केमिकल कंपोस्ट सोल्युशनात हें जाता. कळ्ळें न्ही? ऑलमोस्ट बर्न जाता. दिस इज अ नॉवेल सजेशन. म्हाका दिसता एक दीस बायोडिग्रेडेबल प्लास्टिकाचो शोध लागतलो. वी शुड नॉट अंडर एस्टिमेट द सायन्स अँड टॅक्नॉलॉजीचो जो पॉझिटिव्ह स्पिलओवर आसा, जाका आमी मॅनेजमेंटांत पॉझिटिव्ह इंटरवेन्शन इन नेचर म्हणटात. आतां दुसरें गार्बेजाचें तुका सांगता. गार्बेजांत समज अशें धरया, एक आमच्या सावथ गोंयांत एका खंय बाळ्ळी किंवा खंय एक गार्बेज हें ट्रिटमेंट प्लांट केलो. ताका सोल्युशन कितें आसा, त्या विलेज पंचायतीक इनकन्विनियन्स बोनस दिवप, ताका सबस्टॅन्शियल ग्रांट दिवप, कित्याक ताजे एका पार्टांत जर तो गार्बेज डिस्पोजल आसलो ताका इनकन्विनियन्स जाता, पूण ताजे रेस्ट ऑफ हाका भरपूर ग्रांट दिवप फ्रॉम द रेस्ट. अशें कांय सोल्युशन
सारकी इश्यूचेर सुद्दां खूब कडेन गोंया भितर ओपोज जालो. आमी एकदां एक्स्ट्रीम्साचेर वचून सगळी गजाली करतात अशें दिसना.
I,
या एकूच गजाल सांगता, गार्बेज ट्रिटमेंट प्लांटाक कोणाचो ओपोज ना. गार्बेज ट्रिटमेंट प्लांट जाता म्हण सांगतात आनी पयलीं हाडटात आनी गार्बेज उडयतात आनी ते थंय उरता. इज अ इश्यू आनी ताका लागून लोकांच्या मनात भंय तयार जाला. That is the problem, and that's why there is
Okay.
opposition everywhere.
no, I don't
No
agree with
solution.
the.
Yeah. Plantachi
See,
they have
basically, his argument is just like those carbon credits argument. We will go on polluting, and you have clean industries, and you earn carbon credits, and we will buy your carbon credits, and we will go on polluting.
I would like to take Mr. Thalman's argument a step further. I mean, yeah, I think I come from the science background, and I think science does provide a lot of solutions, but it also does provide a lot of problems. Like, to give you an example of the fishing industry per se, up to the 1970s and almost the 1970s, we had primarily artisans, the Ramponkars, the Magkars, the Harikars, and a few others, nothing more than that. You know, they had a very strong association with ecology, and they operated with ecology in mind. They had very strong sort of panchayat systems across the country. Now, when trawling came in the 1970s, that totally shifted. It became very capitalist. People who were not even, from the fishing industry, when they were trawling, that was an introduction of science that came in by the FAO and the Indo-Norwegian project, two massive projects, beautifully thought, to provide food to the country's poor and will support. It did do for the next 20 years, and then it collapsed. And it led to the collapse not just of ecology, but also a huge number of livelihoods that depended on it.
म्हाका एक गजाल सांगा, जेन्ना आमी टुरिजमाचे उलयतात, हिंटरलँडा भितर वचपाचे उलयतात, जेन्ना इतले सगळे प्रश्न आमचे मुखार आसात, इतली सगळी कन्फ्युजन्स आसा, आर यू शुअर की फाल्यां आमी हिंटरलँडा भितर गेले जाल्यार आमी इकॉलॉजी डिस्ट्रॉय करनासतना, डॅमेज करनासतना आमी टुरिजम बिल्ड करतले? आर हॅव वी रीच दॅट स्टेट? इट्स अ व्हेरी आयडियल कॉन्सेप्ट, बट आमी थंय गेले जाल्यार ते करनासतना रावतल्याची गॅरंटी आहा?
That's what I said in the beginning. This is a good time because we are at the crossroads. There are places in the world that totally depend upon things like this. Totally depend. I can give you example of Costa Rica. I can give you of Colombian areas, which were the drug cartel. I've visited these areas. How they have done. That's what development does not mean concretization. It's like that, even if you have beautiful nature, you cannot look at beautiful and fill your stomach. You have to make use of it. If you see butterfly grows trees, that more butterflies come and convert it into butterfly park. That's how you have to go. But main thing, as I say, have your regional plan in place, have your what you can do, where you can develop, where you cannot develop. That is one. Secondly, there are suitable industries, suitable activities which you have to select and much in advance and invite people to participate and to come up with only those industries. It is possible if you have the correct enactments to go ahead. As far as the garbage you've said is concerned, the main thing is we talk about garbage. There's a lot of garbage here. There are a lot of reasons for it. But the less garbage we create in our own houses, there is less garbage to be picked up from the streets. First, we have to make sure that we do not create garbage. Then you will see clean Goa.
As a matter of fact, I agree with Ralph on this very pertinently. And this is sometimes I don't know, you've classified me as an environmentalist, I'm not. But this is sometimes my little bit of conflict with environmentalists. For instance, if you take the Gadgil report, you take the Kasturi Rangan reports, which the Western Ghats is a biodiversity hotspot, it should be kept that way. That's fine. That's perfectly all right that we say that that's a biodiversity hotspot. But what are methods by which we can generate income from that particular area? This is what we have to think. And sometimes environmentalists don't come out with those solutions. Or even if they come out with the solutions, they're very patchy. They leave it to some bureaucrat. They leave it to some politician. They do not come out with the solutions. So, for instance, like in these places, if you create nature-based tourism, whether it's trekking, hiking, rafting, whatever, and you start getting people to get dependent on that economy by preserving nature, no way in hell is tomorrow a mining company going to be able to come there, even if they discover something, and tell the people that, we are going to dig up this place and so therefore we are going to provide you with more money. They are already having a livelihood. But when they don't have a livelihood, then if you come in there and you come in with your destructive industry, those people get dependent on that destructive economy. And then they are not going to be weaned off so easily, which is what is happening at the present moment.
Small thing, I fully agree with what Ralph is saying. गोंयची टुरिजम इंडस्ट्री गव्हर्मेंटान न्हय लोकांनी बिल्ड केल्या हांगा फुलपाखरां बटरफ्लायज पळोवपाक लोक येतले लोक ती डिस्ट्रॉय करचे ना व्हाळ पळोवपाक आयले ते डिस्ट्रॉय करचे ना हायकिंगा खातीर लोक पळोवपाक येतात जाल्यार ते डिस्ट्रॉय करचे ना झाडां पळोवपाक येतात जाल्यार ते डिस्ट्रॉय करचे ना शेतां पळोवपाक येतात जाल्यार ते डिस्ट्रॉय करचे ना सो इकॉनॉमी म्हाका तातूंतल्यान इन्कम मेळटा जाल्यार ते डिस्ट्रॉय करचे ना दॅट इज हाव वॉट इज आय एम सेईंग दॅट इकॉलॉजी फॉर इकॉनॉमी करेक्ट
म्हाका ताचो फायनल कमेंट्स घेतना सांगात की एफोर्डेबल हावसिंगाचो जो प्रश्न आसा अल्टिमेटली जो प्रत्येकाक सतायता वेदर इट इज पॉसिबल आणि what is the solution and how it is possible?
It is possible. लॉरी बेकरा सारख्यान एप्रोप्रायट टेक्नॉलॉजीन केरळांत अफोर्डेबल हावसिंग केलां तर आमी सगळे म्हणटा तशेंच एक म्हाका दिसता एकमत जालें रिजनल प्लॅन आमी फायनलायज करपाक जाय आनी तातूंत अफोर्डेबल हावसिंगाची स्कीम कितें आसतली कितें जाता रियल इस्टेट म्हणटकीर प्रॉफीट बिग बिल्डर्स याद जातात प्लीज अंडरस्टँड हावसिंग इज सोशल नीड संदेशान सांगलें कितली वेकंट हाऊजीस आसात हांव ताका स्टॅटिस्टीक दिता कितल्या हजारांनी लोकांक घरां जाय आनी ती मेळना म्हणटकीर अफोर्डेबल हावसिंग इज अ सोशल नीड आनी ती आमी एड्रेस कशी करतले तातूंतल्यान गार्बेज स्लम हे ज्यो पळय हे आसतात आनी गोंयांत प्रमोदानी एक कितें जालां की इंटर स्टेट मायग्रेशन कमी जालां इंट्रा स्टेट म्हणजे काणकोण सांगे हातूंतल्यान मडगांव लोक येतात पेडणेंतल्यान पणजे लोक येतात हांकां रावपाची वेवस्था कशी करतले हाजो आमी विचार करपा जाय आनी म्युनिसिपालिटीची मुंबयची ब्रहन मुंबय जाली मडगांवचें ब्रहन मडगांव जावपाक शकना कित्याक पंचायती अपोज करता हो सगळो प्रोसेस आमी खंय तरी थंड तकलेन एक कलेक्टीव विजडमान आमकां फुडें वचचें पडटलें आयदर ऑर किंवा हो म्हणटा तशें ऑल आर बॅड ऑल आर त्या मायंडसेटांतल्यान आमकां सोल्युशन ओरिएंटेड जावचें पडटलें आनी ह्या आयदर ऑर यू आर ऑन द अदर सायड ऑफ द टेबल वी आर ऑन द हातूंतल्यान वी आर ऑल गोवन्स वी आर नेचर लवर्स
You said that की इकॉलॉजिकल इकॉनॉमिक करात have we reached at that point have we reached at that mindset or म्हाका फुडली वर्सां की अशेंच एक डिबेट घेवचें पडटलें
No, you keep on conducting the debate because otherwise how are you going to be economically employed? But the argument is, at least in Goa, in my opinion, even if it gets sometimes talked about in terms of identity politics, our Goenkarpon is getting over, throw out the outsider, etc., etc. But at a very fundamental level, I think from within, everyone wants a certain quality of life. By nature, we Goans are environment friendly. By nature, we Goans would want to live and commune with the environment. So, whichever way, whatever impediments are there, I think we will continue to push. I mean, in many ways, if you really look at it, we sometimes just keep looking at the negatives of government. But let's look at this particular government. As a politician, I'm not supposed to say positive things, but nevertheless, whatever, quasi-politician. But let us see, for instance, now, as Datta was saying, eco-sensitive zones in many places are still preserved. There are still no-go areas. But this has to be cast in stone. If eco-sensitive zones are not to be this, there has to be a legal document to protect that. If this is industrial area, there has to be a legal document to protect that. If this is the kind of tourism we want in the hinterland, there has to be a legal document to protect that. If this is the kind of tourism industry